To create effectively, you need to understand the basics. So to make this, you need to know how to combine this. To build this, you need to know how to assemble this. To drive like this, you need to understand how these function together. And we can only go somewhere if we know already where we are. And that's why we will need 2 more classes after this one before we start creating actual art. So bear with me, we're going places, okay? So welcome to the second part of our class on composition. And remember, we are not focusing on hyper-realistic paintings. Our goal is to create good art using basically and mostly your natural talent, which is, believe me, greater than you realize. The previous class on composition was a bit abstract, but because it was designed to make you see how you function, when you are organizing things in a given space, how your eyes see and how your mind processes what you see. And today we will learn how to use some of those insights to create good art. The main purpose of organizing your composition is to give your eyes a focal point, which is the heart of your composition. Most people use the center of the given space to create art. While there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, there are quite several arrangements and guidelines to creating a more visually appealing composition. But for the purpose of this series of classes, we are going to stick to only 3 of them. Okay, the first is called the rule of thirds, on which we divide the given space into a grid of 9 equal parts with 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines. And we place the focal point in one of the intersections rather than in the center, okay? And by following this rule, we can achieve a dynamic and engaging composition, like in here, and here, and here. Look how better this composition looks just by moving the focal point from the center to one of the intersections. That's why it looks better in here, also in here, and also in here. The second one is the golden ratio, also called the golden spiral. It might sound a little bit complex, but it is actually pretty simple. We start with a square. Okay, it can be any size as long as it is a perfect square, okay? And you add it up to the previous number. So let's call it 1, and 1 plus the previous number, which is 0, is going to be another 1. And then we go spiraling, okay? So 1 plus 1, we have 2. 2 plus 1, we have 3. 3 plus 2, we have 5. 5 plus 3, we have 8. 8 plus 5, we have 13. And so on, so on. Then the next one would be 13 plus 8, 21, and it would go on and on and on. So what it creates is this kind of spiral here. And it goes on and on and on. It is found in nature, it is found in architecture, it is found in classical art, and it guides element placement for balance and visual appeal. So how to use this in compositions? You can either use this as a grid to position focal points in important features, creating natural order and beauty, like in here, and here, also in here. And you can also use, to better balance the size of shapes and elements in a given composition. For instance, when working with shapes, let's say circles, your composition is going to be more harmonic if the shapes you use are proportional to the golden ratio, okay? So this is what you see in here, also in here, and also in here. It looks a little bit complex, but it's actually simple. When we start putting in action, okay, it's very simple, okay? But it helps creating a very well-balanced composition. And finally, our third composition style that we are going to use is the parametric composition, which is when we organize elements in a triangular shape, okay? Simple like this. It creates stability and harmony. It was often used in classical art because it directs the viewer's eyes from the base to the peak, emphasizing the central subject. You can see it in here, here, and also in here. So for homework, I would like you to create some basic compositions using these 3 grids, okay? Use as many shapes as you like. Try to find the grid that you like better. If you want, you can combine. You can try to see how things are arranged differently based on the grid that you pick. And maybe you can try to first do anything without the grid and try to reposition everything using the grid, be it any of them. And in our next class, we will cover color and contrast, okay? So keep on practicing, and thank you for joining us.